Okay, so today I'm going to try another one of those Fiona beautiful flower pours. Wasn't too successful yesterday, but I got a good tree out of it anyway. So I'm going to use one of these, it's a bottle, plastic bottle, water bottle, cut, and the paint is poured in here and it comes off the sides. Okay, first we're going to put a cushion down. It's a 12 by 12 canvas. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to do black and white, keep it simple. So I'm going to push a cushion down of just house paint. I wouldn't recommend this house paint, so that's why I'm not going to even tell you the name of it, but I have to get rid of it, so here it goes. And I might as well finish it because I really don't like this house paint at all. It was a for drywall, and it just had a tendency to crack, so I'm just going to let this go off the sides. I don't care about saving it. Just want to get rid of as much as possible of this paint. Don't like it. And it's got a couple of bumps in it. I'm going to get rid of two. Some bubbles will burst with oh yeah, there's a lot of paint, but this is going to be fine for this. I see a couple little things that have to be pulled out. They might excuse me, there might be bubbles, but let's see. The bubbles. Okay, so get rid of the bubbles. All right. This corner didn't go over. How about that? So let me get it with a little bit of paint that's here. Make sure the sides are all covered. That's good. Very good. Okay. So now we'll put the cup on, which is a half a bottle. Not a half a bottle. It's much less than it's about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches high. And stay in the middle. And I'm going to start with the white. Just pour enough that it starts going down these rivulets. A little bit more. This is a combination of Deco Art Satin Enamel, Iridescent White, and maybe a little bit bigger one. Maybe a little bigger impression I want down there. I'm checking all the way around to make sure it's getting about the same amount all the way around. Now the black. The black will show up a lot better. Okay, and I don't need this stick in there. There's a couple of junks in there I gotta get out of. Okay. Now the black. You want to pour just enough that it starts to look like it's making its own impression in that white. It's pretty, but it's also picking up the white that was left over on the side, so I'm not sure. It's pretty. Let's see what happens. So far it looks great, but that was yesterday too. It looked really nice yesterday when I started. Excuse me, the darn nasal drip. Okay, so okay, now the black. She did like 7 layers of this, but I don't know what size canvas she had. I don't know if I'm going to need 7 layers. Just not give it a blow. See if I can get it to go down a little more. Oh, it's going now. I don't want this one to go down there. Nope. That light's really taking over. I'm just trying to decide how far out I want this to go. I think yesterday I made too much, and it went over the sides too much. Have a lot of patience. Wait for it to do its thing. Go down. Trying to help along. Go over the sides. Now see, this is trying to go over here, see? So that's what happened yesterday. It's not good to tilt this because you're gonna ruin the pattern, so. Okay. Moved it up a little. I think that's all I'm going to do on the side. So now you take a skewer and you run it through like that, before you turn the cup again. Isn't that pretty already, isn't it? Okay, so now I take this and turn it a half away, so that these are in between. Here you go. In between the other petals. And I'm going to start with black, I think. And I'm not going to do too much because it's going over the sides already. See how it's going in between the petals now? The other petals? This side's really going off the side here really bad, and I don't think there's anything I can do about that. How we're doing on this side. Okay. And I think I'm going to just put another white in the middle. And then it'll be ready to lift the cup and do more lines with the skewer. And we're pretty much done with this part, with this cup. So I'll let it finish dripping. Should have checked for the levelness of this. Just gonna let it slowly go up again, because it's coming off this end too much. Okay, might have to stick a stick under here. It's always good to have sticks handy to make it a little higher if it's doing that business. still is coming down this way a lot. Problems. Okay, the whole thing is moving, which is good. Okay, now I should have had a napkin ready. So now I can take this off carefully. Put it on the side. Big opening I've got there. So I'm going to take the skewer and run it through this part into here like this. Oops. There. 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 Now I'm contemplating whether or not I want to make that line wider. I want to make it wider. I need to use a thicker stick. Now I am gonna see if I can keep this more to the center. Okay. Now comes the napkin part, the exciting part. We'll see what's going to happen. Trying to keep this from coming this way anymore. Looks pretty centerized. All right, let me go get the napkin. I'm gonna put this on hold. I'm gonna just dampen a paper towel and we'll be ready for the next part. So I'm gonna put this on pause a minute. Excited to see what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm ready to continue. I'm sorry about the furnace going off. So I'm gonna put this down like this. Stamp paper towel and lift the other part over it. That looks pretty good. It's pretty good. And then she just taps it lightly. Taps it lightly. Taps it lightly. I gotta put my gloves back on. Okay. So then you take the opposite ends of the corners and pull them up like that. And the other one like that. And the other one like that. And then you just slowly lift. Lift. There you go. Woohoo! Throw that away. By golly, I think we got something going here. I'm just going to make this part. Oops. Just want this part to come down just a little. So far, just the middle. Can you see that? It's the middle that's moving. I want it to come down this way a little bit. It's making the middle grow, which is beautiful. Okay, let's bring it back up again. Or I totally lose the petal effect. Oh, that is beautiful. It's better than yesterday, guys. Here you go. There you go. Yesterday I totally lost the effect of the flower. It's doing stuff on the edges. So I don't know if you can see this beautiful stuff coming out. And then just let this come out like this. Beautiful. And one coming out this way. Because I want to leave this negative white space. I think this negative white space. Wait a minute, that came off the stick, which is not good. It means that's going to keep moving. Stick under there. There's thumbtacks. Thumbtacks is what I'm pushing the stick under, and There's a whole bunch of beautiful cells coming up. Oh, gorgeous. You can use a wider stick too to make it more. I'm not going to do too much of this because it's pretty nice. I have a tendency to fiddle too much. Even the center is pretty nice. I don't want to fiddle too much with that either. And paper towel, you need to wipe the tip of this off. Oh, that is gorgeous what's happening in here. I really don't want to fiddle with it. So I'm going to just torch it. Gonna torch it. Some more of those cells come up. I did not put silicone in the paint. It was just Floetrol and paint. Center is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. And the torching is doing something beautiful to the edges. Alright. I'm going to leave this baby be. And probably in another 10 minutes, you'll see a lot more stuff, cells coming up. I don't want to fool with this anymore. It's just really gorgeous the way it is. If you tilt it anyway, it's going to ruin the center. So I'm going to bring you in for a close-up. And I'll show you something else too that I might change when it's dry. But you see how it's dripping down the sides there? If I don't like that when it's dry, because the flower part really is right up to the edge. So if I don't like this, I'll just see how it dries. I'll just put some more of that white paint on just on the edge. Just on the edge, and clean that whole border up. Although I do, I think I would do the same thing here. So it ends, the flower ends up there. I'll decide about that after it's dry. All the sides I'm thinking, but look at this. Isn't that pretty? Thank you, Fiona. I think she was from Slovenia. You can catch her on YouTube. And I watched, I don't know, 3 or 4 of her beautiful flower pours here. Yesterday it didn't turn out right, so I made it into a tree swipe. But today, it really does look like a flower. Okay, today was a success, I think. Thanks, guys. Take care. Okay, so coming back another 15-20 minutes later, it's made a lot more cells on the tips. And I've tried to clean up some of the edges a little bit. I'm going to have to, it's still dripping over. So when I put the white, it just drips down again. So I'm going to have to wait till this dries probably. Okay, I've tried to clean up some of the edge, but it's still dripping. So what I got to really be careful of is that it doesn't, the good parts don't slide over the edge. They can do that, even if there's a slight difference in the level from one end to the other. So I'm really sticking sticks underneath where I think it's doing that. We'll see. I'd hate it to change. I'm going to keep a good eye on it. That's it.